Except what happens is that there's two poisons in the world. Number one is the opinions that other people have of you, your life, and where they think you should be, what you should be doing according to them, and your opinion of yourself of what you think you should be doing and where you think you should be based on their opinion. Those two things will demolish you. Like other people don't like change in your life because they have a specific blueprint about your position in their life. And if you violate that position in any way, they get uncomfortable because it's not systemic. It's systematic. It's not, according to the plan. It changes their whole hierarchy of events throughout their day. So they look at it and they're like, no. You're changing your position of you in my life. And then they go, they also don't like they also have a blueprint of their position in your life, right? So these two things are always jockeying for a control in their life, but it influences yours. So what happened to me was I started thinking, well, fuck, I gotta, you start to get a little bit of money and you start to do things and you see, more eyes on you and you become more popular. Nobody gives a fuck about you, man. They give a fuck about the image being beside you. I would love to be the nameless person. Love it. I would love it if I walked around, nobody knew who the fuck I was. It's hilarious sometimes. I'll walk around here, I'll go to Six Flags or hell in Nashville, or Disneyland or anywhere, people are like, holy shit, dude, can I take a picture of SMASHWERX? Still the weirdest thing in the world to me because it's such a manufactured celebrity, but it's still there. I love that. It's always humbling, but at the same time, I don't care. Like I have friends of mine that are worth hundreds of millions of dollars, have these epic families. Nobody knows who the fuck they are. So you have to look at your value is not determined by others. It's determined by the face and the answers and the questions you have to the person in the mirror. And I think people do things to fill a gap. It's like I said, it's always going to come back to that. You have a gap. So I had gaps, right? I didn't feel worthy enough. I saw other people doing things and I was like, oh, you know what? You self-sabotage because you run a routine in your brain. And that routine, whether you like it or not, is based on what I said at the beginning, right? The automation that Dr. Lipton said. So you have this automation. Well, the only difference between, let's say, Elon Musk's automation and mine is that his is driving him towards what he wants. But he wasn't born like that. He just put the right things into his cabbage to make that happen and then started executing. A lot of people, they get these great programs and books and they don't read past the first chapter. Like right behind you, there's that door. That's actually a library in there. It's this huge library full of books. And people ask about my Audible library. It's 1,700 books, and I've listened to all of them on 2x speed because that's, if you can imagine, I read really slow. So this kind of thing is important. But I lost everything. There was a time so the first time I got cancer was 17 and a half years ago, I guess, about now. And the girl I was with at the time left me cold. I came home. They're like, you got 9 months to live. You're going to fucking die.
And you're 48 right now, Doc, right? 48 for context. So you got cancer in early 30s the first time?
Yeah, correct. And so I had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, stage 3B. It was bad. Both sides of the diaphragm. It got real bad real quick. It was my fault to her. It was just like this laundry list of blame, right? So I understand the panic, yet I didn't understand the panic because I'm like, dude, I couldn't get any more rock bottom. They just told me I'm going to die. And of course you have this faith in the medical system, which is a whole other conversation. So that being said, I went, fuck, well, there was, medical expenses and I actually went off the rails. I went, you know what? I had so much money and I just went berserk. I just tried to fill the gap. I tried to turn up the noise on what I was doing to drown out the noise of being scared as fuck and feeling inadequate, feeling worthless, feeling like I failed. All of those were very real for me. And what was even more depressing for me was I had a refrigerator full of broccoli and chicken and rice and it was not. I never ate sugar. I didn't eat sugar until I met my wife. This is another funny story, but so and I love her for it. But I wound up losing everything, and then lights, furniture, nothing, fucking nothing. I was so broke, and the worst time I was at was when I was in this. I was already technically evicted. I was in this apartment and I was just squatting because they didn't change the locks. So I was in this place with, blanket on the floor, and I would stay there for as long as I could. I would never sleep there. I'd sleep in my car, right? Because I was always afraid they were going to come in and arrest me. I didn't know what was going to happen. So I would just go there to quickly do things. And then they locked that and I was out, right? So I had to live in my car for a while. And I I remember sitting there and I said to God, and I mean, people believe in God, people don't believe in God. That's up to them. I believe in God 100%. And I sat there and I said, you know what? You better give me a fucking reason to be here. Because I was at my wits' end. Right? Like I was done. I'd been fighting this cancer. I kept getting sick. I was weaker. I felt like such a failure. And I said, you better give me a reason. Because I'm not going to I was angry at God. When I got sick, I was angry at God. I hated my parents, God, it was everybody else's fault. I didn't once look in the mirror. Like I was a bitch. And I said, you better give me a reason to be here because I'm not going to let you fucking win. I'll do it myself. Fuck you. Because I thought that was me being a tough guy, right? And I chambered around. And then I fell asleep on my floor, bawling my eyes out. 2 days later, I met my wife.